Hey guys, it's Sim and this is Pro Wrestling Unlimited as we are here on what's today? The 5th of February 2020 to talk about everything that went down tonight on AEW Dynamite. Let me just readjust my microphone there. And let's see who's here with us in the live chat. Get that live chat popping, guys. I see there's a bunch of you in here before we even went live. Love to see that. Love it, love it. We've got Henry Cavallo, Kristen McNutt, Nelson. We've also got Wayne Montgomery. We've got The Pickle One. Sounds like a new name. Thank you for joining us. Eric Tate. Who else do we have? Ruben Rodriguez, Sinclair Saturday, Woken King Slender, and so many more of you. Love seeing you guys in the live chat even before we even go live. That not only reassures me that we've got great fans who love to hear what we have to say about these shows, but it also reassures me that YouTube is at least sending out the early notification. So I love seeing that. And again, I want to say thank you guys for joining me here tonight to talk about AEW Dynamite from Huntsville, Alabama. And I got some things to say, more specifically about that main event segment and, well, kind of the Hangman Page stuff, if you will. Those who jump into it, the show kicks off with Chris Jericho, Jake Hager, and Sammy Guevara joining in on commentary as Jon Moxley took on Ortiz. Ortiz targeted Moxley's eye patch with strikes early. He sent Moxley eye first into the steps, and then he got the heat from the crowd. Back inside the ring, Ortiz used a camel clutch. Moxley came back with a figure four and a suicide dive, then a black hole slam, kinda. Ortiz then sent Moxley over the top to the floor. He then hit a tope. Ortiz tossed Moxley back inside. He then hit a top rope splash and a fisherman suplex for a pair of near falls. Santana jumped on the apron to provide a distraction. Moxley sent Ortiz into Santana. He teased a paradigm shift, but Ortiz blocked. Moxley then hit a double arm DDT, but not the high angle paradigm shift. So it was kind of weird thinking, okay, that's not the normal way he does it. He ain't getting the... Oh, never mind, he got the pin. I didn't expect it to be the finish for the full fact of it wasn't the normal way he does it. Like, he did the normal, like, double arm DDT instead of, like, the whole paradigm shift where he's got him and he, like, herks him up in the air and then slams him down. So, hey, still a good match, though. Santana jumped in afterwards. Or actually, first he jumps up on the apron to provide... No, yes, Santana jumps in. My bad, I read the same paragraph twice. Santana jumped Moxley after the match. Moxley fought him off and pulled the keys to Jericho's Ford GT out of his pocket. So he's wrestling with them keys in his pocket because he's probably afraid that they're going to find them in the locker room and steal the car from him, which... He driving that damn car all around the country instead of taking flights? Brave man. Moxley then says, an eye for an eye, and spikes Santana with the keys in the eye. Moxley retreated through the crowd while Jericho, Guevara, and Hager ran down to check on Santana. Medical personnel attended as well. I thought the segment worked, especially for what we learned later. Next week, Santana, Moxley, an eye for an eye. So then going forward, we do have SCU taking on the Best Friends. Give me 1 second, guys. SCU taking on the Best Friends. No Christopher Daniels during the match, though, which was very interesting. I get he came out after, but I don't know why he didn't have to be there. First half of this match was a lot going on. Before the commercial break, there was a spot where Kazarian hit a German suplex on Trent on the floor. Taylor then hit a blockbuster off the steps to Kazarian. All four men are down. And so, freaking Orange Cassidy walks up, looks at everybody on the ground, and goes, oh, so it's time to lay down. And just lays down with them as we go to the break. Cool. I don't get it. Nick says, like, because I'm a boomer. I'm only 30. But I don't get the appeal. I get that he's cool because he doesn't care. But I just don't get it. And I'm not knocking it or anything because it's effective and it works. I just personally don't get the appeal. But everybody's opinions are their own. And everybody's, I guess you say everybody's allowed to like and not like what they do and don't. If that makes sense. I'm kind of rambling here now. But, hey, it's whatever. A lot of people love Orange Cassidy. Some people, including myself, don't get it. I'm not saying I hate it. Steve Emblom in the chat says Orange Cassidy sucks. I'm not saying I hate it. I'm just saying I don't get it. After the break, Trent sold damage from the suplex on the floor for the rest of the match. SCU took over with a swinging DDT from Kazarian. Trent made a comeback with a knee strike and a one-legged dropkick. Finish of the match saw Sky dropkick Kazarian into the... Did I write this wrong? I wrote, correct me if I'm wrong here, Sky dropkick Kazarian into the back as Kazarian hit a destroyer on Trent and pinned him. Was that correct? That's how I have it written. I don't know what I was writing here. Anyways, after the match, Dark Order would run in and they laid waste to both teams. Orange Cassidy would climb into the ring and they would offer him a Dark Order mask. He refused to take it, so they beat him down. CD Chris Daniels would then run down to make the save. He dared Dark Order to come in and take him out. He said, "Attack me." They retreated. Commentary team put over the fact that we still don't know the identity of the Exalted One, the Overlord leader, I guess you can call him, of the Dark Order. Thank you, Nick, for the $1.99 Super Chat donation. Hi back at ya. Going forward, we then had Britt Baker versus Yuka Sakazaki. This is the first time we've seen Sakazaki on AEW Dynamite, her first time on TNT. They traded left arm ringers, jockeying for position early. Baker forced Yuka into the corner, then choked her. Baker hit a Zack Ryder broski boot type move in the corner for a near fall. Yuka then makes the comeback, including hitting her a magical girl splash, a springboard off the top rope to the floor. Jim Ross made fun of the size difference between Baker and Yuka, then mocked the name of her move. Really? Really? JR's not even a heel commentator. That's like Taz's thing to do. Because Taz is the heelish guy. Anyways. As they get back inside the ring, Yuka hit a lariat and a rolling elbow. Baker cut her off with a super kick. Then, she hit a neck breaker for a near fall. Baker went for the lockjaw, but Yuka pulled Baker into a crucifix and just pinned her. Upset victory by Yuka Sakazaki. And then, here's where the shit hits the fan. After the match, Baker grabs the ring bell. She used the bell on Yuka. Aubrey Edwards, the referee, took the bell from Baker, leaving Baker and Yuka in the ring. Baker then placed Yuka's mouth on the bottom rope and basically curb stomped her on the ropes. Yuka then sold her mouth as if she was bleeding, which she probably bit down on a blood capsule. And then she spits out a goddamn tooth. What? So is this going to be the new thing? Britt Baker's going to curb stomp people on the ropes and make them lose teeth? Hey, I'll fuck your teeth up, and then I'll fix them for you for a fee. Okay. Baker then put on the lockjaw, but was a little hesitant with Yuka's bloody mouth. I really didn't like that. It just came off hokey to me. Like, really? You're going to do a curb stomp to knock a girl's teeth out? I don't know. George John Cock, not really that shocking as she's been slowly turning heel for the last month. So, on commentary, Tony Schiavone is a great third man. Caliber, good at what he does. But I feel like Jim Ross is the extra guy. He's just there for the name value and to sometimes spew out some lines. He's good a lot of times, but most of the time, he just seems like the extra guy. Just saying. And that leads us to the 8-man tag. It was the Butcher, the Blade, Pentagon, and Phoenix. Or should I say as Justin Roberts calls him Phoenix. I think Omega calls him that too, so maybe that's really how you're supposed to say it, Phoenix. Taking on the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, and Hangman Page. So, over the last couple of weeks, they've been doing the Hangman has dissension with the Elite stuff, where they want him to be involved in their celebrations and all the other things that happen, but he doesn't want to. Well, then tonight, and before I even say about tonight, and we're supposed to think that this is his slow turn, where he doesn't care about the Elite anymore and he's turning heel. Well, tonight, to me, the Bucks, Kenny, they came off as the heels at the start of this, because Hangman walks out on the stage and he starts looking around like, where's everybody else at? Oh, they don't want to come out with me? Okay, I'll walk to the ring by myself. Then they come out, do their little 3-man BTE pose, and walk down to the ring like, oh, fuck Hangman. We got our little clique right here. So they what is the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say isolate. That's not the right word. Seclude Hangman. And then when he doesn't tag them into the match later, they're mad. Well, no shit, he doesn't want to tag you in. He doesn't trust you because you only care about you guys and Kenny. Talk about Bucks. Matt was pissed after the match. And we'll get into it right here. As I stated, the story of this is the chemistry between Page and the Bucks, basically. Like, Kenny's trying, but the Bucks are just like, what the fuck? So Page and Blade started out the match. Page hit a series of chops. Omega tags in and hits a Kitaru Crusher. Nick got a tag. The Bucks hit drop kicks after an interfering Pentagon and Phoenix. Or on an interfering Pentagon and Phoenix. Butcher jumped in and hit a triple drop kick from Omega and the Bucks, who hit a triple pescado. Page stood on the apron looking sulked. Like he was just didn't want to be there. Like, what am I fucking doing here? Just before break, Phoenix hit a crazy springboard swanton off the ropes to the floor, wiping out Omega and the Bucks. Back inside, the heels worked over Nick during the break. Back from the break, Matt got the hot tag and ran wild, with landing his locomotion Northern Light suplex on both Lucha Brothers. Phoenix then hit a springboard arm drag to Matt. Pentagon and Phoenix doubled up on Omega. Omega and Butcher ended up the legal men. Omega hit a Hurricane Rana and tagged Page. Page then ran wild with an absolutely electric hot tag. Like, this was great. He hit dives, suplexes, spectacular moonsault from the post to the floor. Like, it was almost like Io Shirai perfect moonsault. Like, he had the perfect extension, body straight out, and then he lands wonky on his knee, so he sells the knee for the rest of the match. Pentagon hits a destroyer on Matt at one point. Butcher hits a powerbomb on Nick. Omega hit Phoenix, Pentagon, and Blade with snap dragon suplexes. Matt had a sliced bread on the Butcher. And there was a super kick party as well. Omega then hits Phoenix with the V-trigger. Page and Pentagon end up the legal men in the ring after all that insanity. Bucks wanted Page to tag them in. Page refused. Penta hit a destroyer on Page. Phoenix and Penta hit the combination double stomp package pile driver on Page. Phoenix then hit a tope to Omega, and Penta goes and pins Page. So the Elite loses. After the match, there was some trouble with the Elite. Matt was pissed. He's yelling at Hangman, why didn't you tag me in? Kenny tries to get in the middle saying, hey, calm down, calm down. And Hangman's like, I don't need to take this shit. And he gets out of the ring, goes takes a beer from a fan and walks off. So during the commercial, if you're watching the picture-in-picture, Matt's yelling at Kenny basically, he didn't tag me. He didn't tag me. I was ready. And Kenny tries to calm him down as Tony Schiavone gets in the ring and the Bucks leave. So Tony goes to interview Omega when Pac interrupts, or Pac. And this was kind of weird. Pac goes, Kenny, what are you doing? This is supposed to be a contract signing. Supposed to be a what? Let me clear my ear out. Contract signing? When did we hear that? What? There was never any contract signing for anything ever previously announced, so we were supposed to believe that we knew what this was. Contract signing for what? Revolution? Dynamite before and maybe Atlanta? He never says. He's sitting there with Lexi, the interview girl, DDP's stepdaughter, and Riho. And Pac is like, if I couldn't get through to your head, if I can get through to you by taking out Nakazawa, maybe I'll go out with one of your other friends. And he's got Riho standing there. Riho's just going like a statue, not moving, not stone face, nothing. Like, okay, am I done? And he's like, give me the match or something's going to happen. And Kenny's just like, okay, you can have the match. I'll sign the contract. You got it. But we never learn when the match is, if it's just a regular singles match. What the fuck is going on here? And then Pac just goes, well, I'm not one to put my hands on a woman. I was never going to hurt her. But she might. She will. And then Nyla Rose attacks. Nyla knocks out Riho and says, coming for your title next week, as we learned that the Women's Championship will be on the line next week in Austin. This was very weird because my whole thought was, Riho, he ain't got you tied down. He ain't holding you by the arm. Run away. If you don't want to be there, if you're in an uncomfortable position, run away. There was a person between you. I didn't like it. Because A, we don't know when this damn match is taking place between Pac and Omega. I hope it's not at the pay-per-view. It can't be next week because Pac and Omega are defending the tag titles. I hope at the pay-per-view, I can't even get it out because I'm so confused. They didn't explain anything. This whole thing with Pac and Omega was just to tell us, oh, hey, women's title match next week. There was a table with a contract on it. Did Pac sign it? I don't fucking know. So, I don't know. So, like I said, they let us know that Riho will be defending the Women's Championship next week in Austin against Nyla Rose. Also, after their victory tonight against the Best Friends, SCU will be getting a shot at their tag team championships. Well, their titles that were theirs previously. Fonzie says in 3 weeks is a 30-minute Iron Man match. When and where was that announced, Fonzie? Was that on Twitter? Because I'll go look right now. Because I didn't see anything. Charles Brown also says Iron Man match. So was that set on television? Because I never heard it. I'm looking on Twitter right now. Let's do some investigative journalism, ladies and gentlemen. It's called Go on Twitter and see what they tweeted. All Elite Wrestling. No, wrong one. AEW. Tweet. Ooh, Cody's back. I'll show you that tweet in a minute. So I'm scrolling through. Here's all the stuff about Cody segment. Flash graphic prior to the belt lashing. See, I didn't even notice that then. And they didn't even tweet about it. Let me see if somebody else Iron Man match. Let me see if anybody tweeted about it. Because I didn't see nobody tweet about it. Okay, I see the graphic now. So the match is happening in 3 weeks in Kansas City, Missouri. It will be a 30-minute Iron Man match on television. Thank you guys for letting me know about that because it must have flashed so quickly that I didn't even notice it. Because, again, I didn't see it on TV. So. BFG says they have an out most of the lineup for the next 3 weeks. No, from my understanding, they've only announced 3 matches for next week, 1 match for Atlanta in 2 weeks, and 1 match for Kansas City in 3 weeks. Anyways, let's get back to tonight's Dynamite. Antonio Banks says NXT was better to me. All I've seen on NXT was what people have posted on Twitter. So I know, like, the title matches got announced tonight for TakeOver. And then I saw the very end of NXT because, hey, they got their overrun back. They saw that it severely hurt them in the ratings last week. So they said, Ms. and Mrs., we'll push you back 10 minutes. NXT, you get your overrun back. So going forward, we had Kip Sabian versus Joey Janela. This was an okay match. I guess wasn't really anything to complain about, and nothing to really be excited for either. It was just a match. So Sabian hit a dropkick early. Janela no-sold some kicks and went on the offense with strikes. Sabian set him up and over onto the apron. He then hit a leg sweep, sending Janela crashing off the apron into the steps. Penelope Ford then slammed Janela face first into the steps. Sabian stayed on offense through the commercial break. After the break, Sabian missed a 450 splash to the floor. Janela hit a German on the floor, and then back inside, Janela hit more strikes. Sabian hit a backstabber. Janela then hit a DVD for 2. That's a Death Valley driver. They traded strikes, and Sabian hit a DDT. Ford jumped up on the apron and kissed Sabian as the referee was trying to get her off. Janela then hits the ropes. Sabian tries to hit Sabian. Sabian moves, and he nails Penelope Ford. So what is it, second week in a row Penelope gets knocked out? Sabian then used a schoolboy with a handful of tights to pick up the victory. Like I said, solid little match. Nothing to complain about, but nothing to also be like, oh man, really got to go see this because this was really cool. Ford sold the knee well. Sabian picked up the heel victory. Everything worked as we assumed it was supposed to. So then they said they were sending it to the back where Alex Marvez was going to talk with the Inner Circle, and they basically just kicked him out and took the mic. Santana said that everyone knows that this has been a not a good month for me. And now Moxley, you want to do this to me tonight? Well, next week, it's an eye for an eye. Basically, it confirms that next week, Santana, Ortiz, there we go. We also learned that Tag Team Battle Royal was announced for, next week is Austin. In 2 weeks is Atlanta. And in Atlanta, there will be a Battle Royal where the winners move on to Revolution to challenge the champions. Whether that's Pac or Paige and Omega or SCU, I assume. Paige and Omega. We'll see how it all goes. Hopefully, it's the Young Bucks winning the Battle Royal. So then we get Paige and Omega versus the Young Bucks. Yes, Antonio Banks. We got 2 pirates in AEW now. So Dustin Rhodes cut a pre-tape promo, told MJF that his brother is a lot tougher than MJF really thinks. So first, MJF and Wardlow come out. Then Cody comes out all by himself. As he enters the ring, we're in commercial, and he's taking off his coat, taking off his vest, his dress shirt, his tie. He's ready for the lashings. And I'm not saying this was a bad segment, because I feel like any different and this segment would have been bad. But the crowd just did not know how to react, for one. And at home, he's just like, so Cody just wants to show us that he's a tough son of a bitch? Because MJF laid in every single one of these fucking shots. And that shot that Wardlow gave him, my body shook. So MJF tells Cody, give me your belt. My belt's too fancy to smack you with. So Cody gives it to him. We got a referee in there, Bryce Remsburg, to make sure he only hits him 10 times, no more, no less. So, sorry about that. I was reading the chat and I don't know what you guys are talking about. So, Cody gives him his belt as the Butcher the Blade, Britt Baker, Kip Sabian, and Sammy Guevara and Penelope Ford will come out on the stage to watch. And I'm like, what are they watching for? This makes no sense. Whatever. MJF hits him with a shot, and you look at it and you just go, oh crap. Cody told this guy to lay it in. Cody wants to show us just how tough he is. And so MJF hits him with another strike. And I read those. Arn Anderson comes out. comes down to the ring for moral support. MJF starts yelling at him. You can't help him. He has to do this. What are you going to do now, coach? Cody takes a few more lashings before Dustin would come out. Dustin jumps in the ring and says, this is it. Enough. If you got to do it to me. Finish him off on me. And MJF goes, you know that's not how this works. Watch what I do. This is my ring. Get out of my ring. And so MJF threw another lashing before the Bucks would come down. Cody's back was just covered in belt shots and welts here. Cody then flips off MJF, and Wardlow stops him and says, you got two more, let me do one. And the referee at first is like, no. That wasn't the plan. That wasn't the agreement. And MJF just goes, do it. And so Wardlow grabs that belt, pulls back real far, and just cracks that whip. Cracks that belt right through the small of Cody's back, right down the middle of his back. Cody's down. Shot draws a little blood. Dustin and the Bucks fire up the crowd before the last lash. Cody tried to fire up so he could stand, but he collapses. Out would then come his wife. Normal, non-cuckoo bird Brandy. She's crying. She says, I love you. Just one more. We've almost got this done. The Bucks, Arn, Dustin, Brandy, they're all there as Cody takes the final shot from MJF. MJF hits that 10th lash. Cody drops to the floor. He's lying on the mat as everybody gets in the ring. MJF looks as if he's done, but he's got one last thing to do as he kicks Cody right in the balls. Everybody wants to get him, but he jumps out of the ring as fast as he can. Wardlow jumps out of the ring. They run through the crowd as they run up the steps. Everyone is tending to Cody in the ring as MJF is laughing at the top of the stairs. We see the best friends then come out. Somebody then attacks MJF and Wardlow. Wardlow takes the guy as MJF is still there laughing. I don't know who that was. Was that a fan? Was that some other wrestler that we were supposed to know and didn't? I guess it was. I don't know. Looked like a fan. Attacked MJF. And the show goes off the air. Like I said, it wasn't a bad segment. If it was done any differently, I think it would have been. But the fans in the building didn't know how to react to this. They didn't know if they were supposed to ooh and ah. They didn't know if they were supposed to cheer every time Cody fired back. They didn't know if they were supposed to boo. And I think that's what made this segment so awkward. So, again, I think all it was Cody said, lay it in. I'm going to show these people how tough I really am. And if we look here, let me pull up the AEW Twitter. Just to show you how completely jacked up Cody's back was. Let me pull this photo up here. I don't know why I can't get this to load. Here we go. All right, so AEW Twitter account. Cody's back. Whew. If you guys haven't seen this photo, I'm going to warn you now. This hurts to see. So we've got, let's switch screens right here. Cody's back. Wrecked. Let's see if we can count all the shots. Can't even count them all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 across his, 2 across his neck. 8. There's probably like 2 more over here because a couple of MJF were throwing and it was hitting him right in the shoulder. But Cody's back after those 10 lashings. Like, boy, howdy. You see right here, broke skin. Right here, broke some skin. Whew. I mean, it hurts me just looking at it. With that was tonight's AEW Dynamite. They did announce earlier today that they will be back in Vegas this coming May for Double or Nothing. Double or Nothing will be on May 23rd. It will be a Saturday. And tickets do go on sale a week from this Friday, February 14th. So if you do want to go to Double or Nothing in Las Vegas, Nevada, well, get your tickets because, yeah, they haven't been selling out recently. They've been doing well, but they haven't been selling out recently. But I think with it being Double or Nothing, the 1-year anniversary show, and it being in Vegas, there's a really good chance this show is going to sell out because not only is it just, oh, well, we'll go to an AEW show, I'll fly in for it. You can make a whole vacation out of this being in Vegas. But we do have a couple text messages to look at before we do wrap things up as well. If you want to text in, 510-906-1341. Again, the number is 510-906-1341. This text message here says, who do you think is the Exalted One? You know? I don't know. And I don't think they know. Originally, the plan was for it to be Marty Scurll. He was supposed to start with the company on the 18th, December 18th, that is, that last show before they went on break for the holiday. And, well, he ended up staying with Ring of Honor. I know there's rumors of who it can be. Some say maybe Brody Lee. Some say maybe Matt Hardy. After tonight, some said Christopher Daniels. But I think we just got to wait and see. And this person says, with the announcement of Double or Nothing 2, announced for May, do you still see Jericho losing to Moxley at Revolution or someone prolonging the feud to Double or Nothing 2 and ultimately having Moxley win there on the anniversary show? I don't think it should. I get where you're coming from, but I don't think it should be dragged out any longer than it needs to. I think Moxley wins the title. Well, so here's what you can do. Moxley wins the title at Revolution. Jericho then gets his rematch at Double or Nothing. I mean, you can still do the match at Double or Nothing. Jericho just somehow gets his rematch. Plain and simple, easy as that. Bada boom, and you go, brother. So, I can see that being the main event. I mean, other things that can main event Double or Nothing 2. I mean, that's so far away. That's March, April, May. That's like 3.5, 4 months away. So, I mean, it's too hard to predict where the company's going to be storyline-wise by then. I mean, by then, are we finally going to get Omega versus Hangman? Or are we going to eventually get, the Bucks as the champions by then? The tag champs? I don't know. There's too much to say for what can main event a pay-per-view that far out. So, it's all good. But with that, got a few more messages here. Do you think Nyla Rose loses next week? Chris Statlander will get a rematch at Revolution. Why does Chris Statlander need a rematch? She lost to Riho. I get her thing on Twitter was, could I get another shot when a bunch of people... Chris Statlander's whole thing on Twitter was, I think I deserve another shot at the AEW Women's Championship belt when half the roster don't run down and interfere. It happens. You lost. Get over it. Earn your shot again. So no, I don't want to see Chris Statlander again. This person says we'll be doing an NXT review. Should have an NXT review up tomorrow. Have not seen, like I said, any NXT except for the overrun and what people posted on Twitter. But with that, I do want to say thank you guys for joining me here to talk about AEW Dynamite. I want to thank everybody who watches later right here on YouTube and listens on podcast services all around the world. We'll be live again. We won't be live for the NXT review. That will be a pre-tape review if we do get one up. And we will be live again Friday night following Friday Night SmackDown. And I should be doing a Friday morning wrestling wrap-up as well this week. So with that, we'll see you guys later. Have a great night.